Hi, how y'all doing? It is Monday, the 15th of April, 2024. Here in Ontario, Canada, the whole sky, atmosphere was whited out, fog. Couldn't even see across the street. But by 9 o'clock, 8 o'clock, it was gone. 7 o'clock, the construction workers rolled in to remove the sidewalk and in front of my unit, right? Like a bunch of units from 1 to 6. And yeah, so I got to hear them. They brought in all the big machines. I got to hear them, break up all the sidewalk. As soon as they came, I seen a man outside open my door at 7, and I was like, because I put a bunch of stuff from my garden on my step, right? And I said, do I need to move this stuff? He goes, well, it should be okay. I said, I can move it. He goes, no, it's fine. And I was like, right on. So I got a smile first thing in the rise, right? And then there's like 9 of them out there. You could probably hear the equipment right now. They're loading the asphalt into the hunks of asphalt into the trucks to take away, right? So yeah, it's been noisy, but it hasn't bothered me at all. It's action, right? It's fine. I just put the subtitles on YouTube and I can read whatever I want, right? Yeah. Do you know what the Schuman is today? Take a guess. 96 to 78. So quite high, right? I felt the energy. I did. I'm still feeling it. That's strong, right? So, yeah, that's what we're dealing with. I wanted to finish up on a little bit more of what I know about Enlil's kids, the grafted beans that I talked about yesterday in my video. The way to tell who they are, really, is that they're not like us. They're not like mankind, okay? They will sell their mother and their children, right? For wealth, whatever, notoriety, whatever, right? So yeah, I was watching a video about the people in Iran again, right? And it was sad because there's the man that's doing the videos. He's like probably 30, and his father locked him in a room in the house because the man didn't want to marry his cousin. His father wanted him to marry his cousin. And because the man refused, he says, I see her like a sister. I don't like her that way. You're going to cause problems, right? The father would not understand and locked him up for days. Okay? Isn't that kind of like selling your children? Right? That means a lot of those people over there are inbred. Right? So you got to think about all the countries where they do that to their people, to their children, forced marriage them off to distant relatives or not so distant relatives. They're the grafted beings, right? Because real mankind, we know better than that, okay? We want our children to have good genes, right? Not to have mental illness or physical illness. And that's what happens to them. I know. Some of my cousins were inbred on my father's side of the family, right? And they all have had a very hard life. Very hard. It's not their fault. It's their parents' fault, right? So, like, my mother really, put the foot down, and I put the foot down on children in our family that this is unacceptable. And they all agree. I agreed with my mother when I got shown the reference of what happens to the children when you do that. So, yeah, that's the way to tell who's a grafted being and who's mankind. And I should iterate too, there was some Caucasian races, I believe. One was in Nova Scotia and one in Scotland, right? That were mankind and not grafted. So, yeah, because they have melanin in their skin, but the appearance isn't brown. It's complicated, isn't it? I'm just learning this stuff, getting the hang of it. But yeah, it is complicated. But then I'm not I don't know what you call those people that do that, work with DNA. a genealogist to create people like they do with the clones, you know? So yeah, weird, right? Stuff that goes through my mind. I've had a pretty good day. I had to go driving, right, earlier. Drove the man, he wanted to go to the bank, and took him home. He was okay. He wasn't being a narcissist, right? I looked at his face to see if he was changing, because when I first met him, he reminds me of a troll. Okay? I know. And this is another form of it, right? We'll wait and see what happens, you know, what people start appearing, their appearance starts showing us. Doesn't scare me in the least, right? I think it's interesting. I do. I also learned about parasites for the last 4 years, right? I've been cleansing naturally through fruit and nuts. You can look up online natural ways to cleanse parasites. But there's other things, there's medication, right? One is the IVER, right? And fill in the rest. MECTIN. That's one. And scientists have proven, and so have people, biologists, people that work with animals, critters and creatures, right? That intestinal parasites can cause strange behavior in animals, right? It can drive them crazy. It can attract this. The smell of urine from cats can attract rats when they have parasites, right? And so the cats kill them easily, you know. So it's detriment to the rats, kind of thing, to have the parasites. And it does the same thing to human beings, but not that way, right? It can cause limp wrist syndrome. You know what I'm talking about? Because I can't say it here, right? I'll get a strike on my channel. So, yeah, it can cause that. It can cause mental illness like bipolarism, schizophrenia, right? It can also cause, let me see, what else? That's it. That's what I wrote down. So, yeah. It's just something to think about, right? I've seen videos when I first started and read information that a parasite can, what was it? Was driving some kind of animal crazy that never goes in water to go into water, right? Because then the worm releases its eggs in the animal when it drowns, and they come out, and then they infect other, you know, wildlife, fish, birds, whatever like that, right? Because parasites want to live, you know what I mean? So they have to complete their cycle of life, keep it going. So yeah, it's just something to think about, isn't it? A long time ago, before we had the quacks come and start medicating everybody, people used to do cleanses, parasite cleanses, yearly, right? Because of, you know, raw fish. People eating sushi, gross. Parasite city, okay? Right? And like a lot of obese people could have them because that's, you know, you get full of them. So I think if you're having any of those problems I mentioned, you might want to consider checking into stuff like to get rid of them, right? For your mental health, it can also cause anxiety, depression, right? Do you know what I mean? How simple to cure so many people. To just do a parasite cleanse. Because the quacks aren't educated into telling you or to knowing that this needs to be done. You know? Because a lot of people don't cook their food right. Their meat has to be well done in order to kill parasites. You don't eat that shit raw. You know? There's different ways of getting them. So, yeah. You might want to consider it. Okay? Okay. All I've seen flying around today is seagulls, too. My robin didn't show up in the tree today. But then you couldn't see. And then as soon as day broke, or, you know, Not really. 8 o'clock, I guess, in the rise. The fog went down and the noise started. All the big heavy machinery. So yeah. But when I went out to go to the grocery store, it was around 10 o'clock. And there was no noise, and you had to go through the back door because the front door's all, sidewalk's gone. So I was walking around, and all the guys, when I got to the front of a truck that was parked there, all the workers were standing out there. And I was like, oh, you're on coffee break, right? Because they all looked at me as soon as they see me. I was like, you're on coffee break. And they went, yeah. And I said, yeah, the noise, I knew it. I said, the noise stopped. And they all smiled and laughed at me, right? And then when I went to the grocery store, everybody was in there. And I was like, whoa, quite the difference, right? No, maybe it's because of the price of everything, I bought a bag of cashews. And 4 years ago, they were like $10. Today, they're 20. Right? Hamburger, what I used to be able to buy for 5 was like 15. So they be trying to starve us out, but it's all part of the plan. It is. I know it's weird. Things are gonna get better. They are. Gotta get rid of all this old poison shit anyway, Gotta make the people hurt to wake them the fuck up. Because a lot of people out there are still like, la la la, life's normal. Life is great, life is good, everything's groovy, I'm living the best life. Right? And they don't realize it's all crumbling down around their ankles. Because they don't have eyes to see yet. But they will. It'll start coming out in the news more. They're going to be forced to tell the truth. I believe they already are. It's going to ramp up. Right? I'll wake more people up. I'm not sure if the ones that got the job will, though. I guess we'll have to wait and see. I think some do. Some get it. Right? Because even the guy I drive around, he knows. He's admitted to me that all his friends and everything that have passed or have cancer now and stuff like that all got the job. So he's aware that happened. That's the thing. But yeah, he does, I think that's probably about all he sees. But shit keeps on changing. The Schuman keeps on going up. The good energy keeps coming down. Right? Right. So full of energy. Not to literally do things. I could just feel it reverberating inside of me, building up. Right? But then we're in a new moon alignment today, too. What is it? I think it's the first quarter. Let me check. I want to be sure. I don't want to give you information that's not correct. Right? Because I don't like that when people do it to me. Even if it's a mistake. First quarter. 56% it says. No. 50% first quarter. So yeah, first quarter. I slept pretty good last night. Woke up at 7. I had lots of energy before I went to bed, though I stayed up till midnight, and I never do that. Alright? So my son was up, and I told him, he was like, yeah, that happens sometimes, Mom. Alright? He is just being so nice to me, too, that I don't get it. Right? He's changed. It's weird. But maybe it's the 2 years we spent apart. He appreciates me more. Right? Because he got to see how his girlfriend's mother is. And I'm nothing like her. I'm better. He knows it too, right? Just saying. This is usually what's happened throughout my life with the children. When they, come back from other people's house, they'd be like, wow, Mom, because people always said it was worse than what I was. So what happens to the chosen, right? My mother was the one that started rumors about me, for crying out loud. Tried to make my life difficult, right? Same as my sister. One of them. The other one, not so much. She's not like that, right? But yeah, they were the narcissists in the family. And that's what happens. It's how do you say it? A challenge. Because they know you're a spiritual being. They know you were chosen. Right? So it's their job to bring you down, grab you by the ankle and bring them down to hell with them. Right? but they couldn't win with me. I'm too stubborn. I love myself too much. And I love the realm and the good men and womenkind of the realm. Right? I do. Alright. YouTube's shadow banning me too, right? Hiding my views. Hiding my comments. So if you comment and I don't get back to you, it's because they've taken it away and I can't see it. Okay? Okay. I love you all with consciousness. Enjoy this night and day. Did you feel the energy ramp up today? It's changed, eh? Alright. Bye.